But on a breaking news story, it seems as though there have been changes at the head of Pakistan cricket. One of the great opening batsmen for Pakistan. He even won the World Cup back in 1992. The PCB chairman, that's the Pakistan Cricket Board, Ramiz Raja, has been removed. He was appointed to the role back in September of 2021. It's happened just days after the national team suffered what was a humiliating test defeat at the hands of England and their Bazball. That's according to a government notice which has been seen by many outlets today. To get more details on this breaking story, we're joined from Pakistan by Najeeb. He is a sports anchor at ARY News. Najeeb, thank you very much for joining us on Talk 100.3.
Thank you for having me.
Is this come as a shock that Ramiz Raja has been sacked as the head of PCB?
Not at all, because unfortunately in Pakistan, when the regime changes, these kind of things happen. But Ramiz Raja, with his term up till now, was not that impressive after all, because he had all these promises about the change of mindset and playing stronger cricket and having pitches that would have close games and sporting wickets, but could not deliver. So this was something that we all expected, and I think this is going to go as a right decision for Pakistan cricket.
He came into the role back in September 21 and he really oversaw two big tours, seeing Australia tour there for the first time in 15 or 16 years. But with that tour, there were some complications, certainly around the pitch and the surface that was issued up.
Yeah, he always used to say that in my time, we would have sporting pitches. He always used to talk about drop-in wickets and changing the mindset of the Pakistan Cricket Board entirely. But I think he failed in that department. But he's no longer the chairman of PCB. His removal of the post and current board was formally initiated by the Prime Minister of Pakistan, Shehbaz Sharif, who's also the patron-in-chief of the Pakistan Cricket Board.
Do you think this has really come about ever since Imran Khan, his former teammate, was removed as Prime Minister?
Yeah, that's it. That's the only thing, because Imran had great support for Ramiz Raja, and that's why he chose him for the chairman of the cricket board. Now the regime changes, and this was expected by everyone. We were actually a bit surprised that it took a little longer than what we expected.
Who are the candidates to take over the head job for the Pakistan Cricket Board? Do we know?
We were thinking about Zaka Ashraf and Najeeb Sethi. Basically, these two are the main people. But now Najeeb Sethi, as we all know, is going to be the new chairman, and he's got the blessings of the patron-in-chief. And Najeeb Sethi is the person who planned Pakistan Super League. It was his brainchild, and he delivered it. And he was the one who convinced everybody in the West that Pakistan is safe for cricket.
And that is very, very true. I know there were some lengths to have a lot of international media cover the last two test series between Australia and also England and make sure the hospitality was at its ultimate, which it was. I know many Australian cricketers commented on just how remarkable the service was and the food was, and they enjoyed it. But Pakistan lost those two series. How much do you think the on-field results had to do with this removal, or was this purely a political move?
It wouldn't be fair if I justify his removal because of our performance in the series. I think it's absolutely political. But the thing is, Ramiz also used to take credit for the victories, so he has to face this now as well.
There's a lot of positive for Pakistan cricket now that they are playing games at home. You're seeing young players be able to see their team in their country for the first time. Najeeb Sethi is now in charge of that interim role. What impact can he have on grassroots cricket in Pakistan?
I think the first thing that he needs to do is bring back the old setup. The old setup of departmental cricket was absolutely vital for Pakistani kids, for youngsters, because departments take care of their players. They pay them salaries so that players can focus on the game. This new setup in Ramiz Raja's term, or maybe before that, since Imran Khan became the Prime Minister, this new setup of 6 teams was not good for Pakistan. This is a country with so many people, with a large population. We need department cricket to support youngsters, nurture young cricketers, so that they can focus on the game.
Well, just on that, I'll have to interrupt you there, Najeeb. But for those who are outside of Pakistan, what is that term that you mentioned? What is departmental cricket?
Departmental cricket are like big organizations, big departments in Pakistan, like banks, and they make their team, and these teams play first class cricket.
Okay.
So do you get it?
Yes.
These teams make these companies, these departments make their team, and they support these young players so that they can play first class, and they get money as in like a salary for their job, their services. So players in Pakistan are mainly worried about their bread and butter. So if this thing is taken care of by the departments, so they can focus on the game.
Should there be any other people that would be worried? We've seen for the New Zealand Test matches coming up, Pakistan have recalled Hassan Ali. Are there any other roles that might come under question now that there has been a change of regime?
I think the coaches, I think the chief selector, they'd be under a big scrutiny, and I might be wrong, but I think there'll be a removal of all these key posts, and new people with experience, we might see them.
Has there been any talk about Babar Azam's captaincy? I know that he's reached a career high in the ICC Test rankings, but he hasn't been successful. Any thoughts on a change in leader?
I don't think so. I don't think we have a better option than Babar Azam right now. But because with the new setup, he'd be. I think he'd focus more on his batting as well, and he won't be taking things that are not in his domain. With this current setup, I think they had given Babar more power, which is not required. We talk about player power, and I think that's not fair to blame Babar for that. But I think with this new setup, everybody is going to do what is required from them.
Yeah, look, I love Pakistan cricket, and I loved watching them play. I love watching Babar Azam, but Pakistan have lost 4 consecutive tests under Babar Azam, failed to win a single series this year. And personally, he's just converted 3 of his 14 50-plus scores as captain into centuries. You say that there's no one to replace him, but you say that there's no one to replace him, but do you think you get more out of Babar Azam as a player when he's not captain?
I think we don't have any other option for now. Let's focus on that.
Okay.
And I think we have to change our mindset. It's not about winning or losing. It's the mindset that we play defensive cricket. We enter into the ground with a thought that we might lose this one. We have to change that. We have to enter in the ground saying we can win it. And that's what we saw with this English side, with the captaincy of Ben Stokes and the coaching of Brandon McCullum. They were there to win it. They were in it to win it. Some of the games were certain draws, but they changed that into victories, just because of the mindset. So I think these guys are really talented, and Babar as a captain can improve, but we have to change the thought process.
Long term, one of the biggest projects that Pakistan cricket is going through is that the Asia Cup is coming up. How do you think this is going to change now that Najeeb Sethi is going to be in charge? What's the biggest challenge for Pakistan hosting the upcoming Asia Cup tournament?
Oh, that's a difficult one. And my guess is as good as yours, because India clearly stated that they are not going to come to Pakistan for Asia Cup. And we are not in a position to say that we are not going to go there and play World Cup. That's the thing about Ramiz Raja that I don't understand. He says things which are not practical. So the thing about Najeeb Sethi, he is a very diplomatic man. He's going to sit down with some of the top people of the Pakistan Cricket Board, and he's going to come up with some plans that are practical. So let's leave it to that, because I don't know what's going to happen in Asia Cup and what are going to be the circumstances if India refuses to visit Pakistan.
I certainly agree. It's a tough negotiation position. Pakistan could say to India, well, if you don't come to Pakistan for the Asia Cup, we won't come for the World Cup. But I think that hurts Pakistan a lot more than it hurts India.
Very true.
Yeah, it's a difficult one. Well, it's interesting times. And then we've also got the on-field to look out for. How do you think Pakistan are going to go coming into this series against New Zealand? What changes do they need to make?
They've made some changes. They've brought back Hassan Ali as a fast bowling option in place of Muhammad Ali, who was not that impressive. They have Naseem Shah back in the squad. He was injured. Injured Haris Rauf is out. They have another player in place of Azhar Ali, who retired recently, and his name is Kamran Ghulam. He's been performing in domestic, and he's a great future prospect for Pakistan in batting. So the side is good. We have some really good players, and you have recently seen Abrar as a mystery spinner. So I think Pakistan is going to have a good time hosting New Zealand.
It is great to see Test cricket back in New Zealand. The first of two Test matches, Pakistan versus New Zealand, that does start on the 26th of January. But seeing as though Ramiz Raja has stepped down and the replacement Najeeb Sethi is in there, it's going to be interesting times behind the scenes. Najeeb, the sports anchor for ARY News, thank you for joining us here on TSB.
Thank you.